Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. So in the last episode, we managed to kill the Bell Gargoyles after we got brutally killed by them on the first attempt. So now we're going to head off towards the next boss. As you can see, if you look at my Estus Flask, I went ahead and used that Firekeeper Soul off camera. Didn't see the point in really having to show you guys running back over to Firelink Shrine to do that again. Now, the souls that we got from the Bell Gargoyles, I'm going to go ahead and use those to level up, and that is because I think I figured out what the issue was with not being able to find any help. And that was that I was too low of a level. Yeah, that'll work. As you can see, I'm doing Dexterity, Endurance, and Vitality all equally. I will possibly throw a few more points into Attunement later on. So now, we are human. We still have our +5 weapon. Oh, actually, speaking of weapons. Oh, I can't do it. Bollocks. I forgot I haven't bought the repair box yet. So we'll just talk to Andre down here and get him to repair our weapon. And let's see, repair equipment. As you can see, if you do this often, it doesn't take a whole lot of souls to do it. Now, we're going to be heading down this way. The first thing we're going to try and do is kill the enemy in this next room. This is a Titanite demon. And these guys are rather strong. If we can just avoid his lightning attacks. Oh, oh, well, I was going to say make sure not to get hit by the jumping attack, and then I got hit by the jumping attack. Let's heal real quick. Now, we don't actually have to kill this guy. You actually never have to kill him. You can just run by him every time you come through here. But it gets to be annoying, and he does have a pretty good drop. So we're just going to back off here. We haven't really taken off that much of his health. Let's see if we can't hit him with a fireball or two. That does a fair amount of damage. Alright. Well, I'm not going to need the fireballs for the upcoming area. So let's just go ahead and burn through those. See if we can't take out most of his health that way. Oh, the jumping attack. Alright, back to the katana. We're in close again. So just keeping our shield up, taking our swings when we get a good chance to. And trying to circle around to his right to avoid his weapon as much as possible. Also trying not to burn through all of our stamina, so that when he goes for that, we do still have the ability to dodge. There we go, rolling in close again. And just taking the katana to him. Oh! 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 I died too. Oh! Am I? Yeah, I'm dead. Alright. I was like, why is my character still standing up? And a little lightning just to seal the deal. Okay. Oh. This has been a bad run of luck tonight. Okay. So, what we are going to do... Did I rest at the bonfire? Yes. Yes, I did. What we are going to do is we're going to sprint past the Titanite demon. Not that he's too strong for us at this point in time, but I don't want to waste the entire episode trying to kill that one enemy. And we didn't lose a whole lot of souls, and we lost no humanity, so... Typically, to sprint past him, you'll want to hug the right-hand side wall. But I want my souls back, There we are. And now we can just run. Once we get down the steps, we are relatively safe. And now we're going to duck through this doorway, and we are now entering the area known as Darkroot Garden. Is he still flinging lightning at us? And you'll see we have these tree creatures to fight. Now these guys will drop moss clumps of different varieties. There's purple, purple blooming, and red. Those help reduce poison, bleed, and toxin. There we are. There's the marquee for Darkroot Garden. Now, there's going to be a few of those guys on our path. They're not terribly difficult to deal with, as long as you don't let them get their grab attack on you. Also, knocking them off the cliff was not really something I wanted to do, because I want those moss clumps for an area we'll be heading to a bit later on. Now, what I like to do here, you can just barely see it, but there's a spiny bush on the ground. Whoop! And it looks like the top of this guy. It's because these fellas like to hide in the ground. Yeah, there he went for the grab attack. Ah! Typically, what I like to do is jump attack that one before he has a chance to pop up. Alright, just burn him down. Wow! Way to let your buddy take the bullet for you. There we are, blood red moss clumps. And we are going to find our Darkroot Garden bonfire just up ahead. Also, yes, I ran past the item. I do that every time I come through here. There's an item hidden behind this rock. And it's just a soul consumable. It's nothing terribly important, but I almost always miss it on my way in. So here, we have a sealed door, we have a path to the right, and we have our first illusory wall. And hidden behind here is the Darkroot Garden bonfire. Now, as much as I hate to do this, yeah, we're going to go ahead and use the Twin Humanities. Now that gives us 2 humanity. That will allow us to reverse hollowing. And it will allow us to kindle this bonfire so that if something does happen, we'll be able to come back here and still gain 10 Estus from this bonfire. So now, let's go back out here. Now the sealed door, we cannot get through here yet. We do not have the key for it, locked by some contraption. We'll come back to that later on when it's relevant. For now, we want to take this path, and we'll have a few more of the tree guys to deal with, if I remember correctly. Actually, no. What we have is we have a side room here, and that item looks real inviting. That room is a trap. By picking up that item, you will aggro the 3 enemies that are hiding in there, and they will be aggressive every time you come through. So actually, you want to stop and pick that up on your way out, so you won't have to come back through here again. So we will traverse the white light, and we're going to make our way directly towards the boss. There's some other stuff you can get here, and I will come back and show you where it is later. But I want to make my way directly to the boss while we're still human. So we're going to hug this left-hand wall. Now what we're going to find is, number 1, this narrow walkway here. You'll see an item, but you don't want to go straight for the item. Why? Because that thing on the tree is alive and will bite the crap out of you. So you want to cut that down, pick up the item, that is the partisan. And then typically you want to be faster about it than I was there. That's what I get for talking and playing at the same time, because this guy pops up and comes up behind you. So the partisan, let's take a look at that real quick. The partisan is a spear-type weapon. Yeah, spear with blade attached to broad point, boasts long reach, and can slice. Pretty decent weapon if you don't have a spear at this point, which we actually don't. So I might look into using that alongside the Uchigatana. We'll see how this works. So we're going to continue to hug this left side wall. You'll see these glowing plants. Those simply provide light. Those are not items, but they can fool you from a distance, so you want to be careful. Now, like I say, we're heading straight for the boss. We're not going to worry about the items here. I will show you how to get all of the items that are in this garden once we have actually taken out the boss. So we have another lizard on the tree here. Let's just cut him down. And now what we're going to encounter is one of the stone guardians. Now, you want to be careful around these guys because, number 1, they are tough as nails. Number 2, they use a spell called Tranquil Walk of Peace that causes you to move slowly. So we're going to sprint by this one, sprint over to the bush here. Get out of the way, bush. And we are going to summon Witch Beatrice. This is another NPC summon. And then we're going to make our way up the stairs. And as soon as Witch Beatrice shows up, this guy is going to be a little worse for wear. Oh, boy. Or I might be if he continues to hit me like that. Beatrice, take care of this fella. Oh, how do you miss the first shot? You see, she has the ability to one-shot these guys. Hey, watch where you're flinging those soul spears, lady. Come on. Alright. So now we are ready to go and face our next boss. And we need Witch Beatrice unless we are a sorcerer or an archer of some type. And that is because our next boss is actually a flying enemy. So we're going to traverse the white light here, and we will see the Moonlight Butterfly. Now, normally I would talk about, strategy on a boss or what I'm trying to do. In all honesty, with Witch Beatrice, this guy is a joke. So just stay close enough, because she'll follow you. Witch Beatrice will follow you. So stay close enough that she can continue to try and pelt this thing with magic. Assuming she ever hits it this time, jeez. And when he charges up his attack, you just want to either block it or get out of the way of it. Typically, getting out of the way of it would be the better option, because his attacks do actually do a lot of damage. And when he comes in close like this, you want to get in and get a couple good hits in. Take him down if you think you can. But you don't want to stay close for too long, because he is going to do an AoE attack that will knock off a good chunk of your health. Now we simply hang back and wait. Beatrice, kill this thing, please. Oh, Jesus. Heal. Heal quickly. Thank you. Also, he has this beam attack. Beatrice, shoot at the frickin' butterfly. Heal quickly, please. Beatrice, you're killing me here. Quite literally. Kill him. Oh my god. Hey, we killed the butterfly. Thanks, Beatrice, you were a real help. Well, crap. Oh. So, just so everyone is aware, I recorded the last episode, the Bell Gargoyles, and this episode all in one sitting. As you can tell, I have been not on my game at all. How do I get killed by the butterfly? So now, I'm going to have to rush back down there to get my souls. What I'm going to do is I'll get these out of here and put a... where is it? Did I just scroll past the Homeward Bones? I bet I did. We'll put those in our menu. And we're just going to make a run for our souls, because we got 10,000 from the butterfly, but more importantly than that, there are some items actually just past where he died. So, once again, we are just following the same path, but I'm just kind of ignoring the enemies, because really, aside from the stone giants, or the stone guardians, you can really kind of afford to avoid all the enemies. Say those guys will aggro and try and kill you, but like the tree lizards, yeah, they're not that big a deal. So we come back up here. There's our souls from where we got killed by the Moonlight Butterfly. And I can't believe I just said those words. So now what we want to do is head into this building and up these stairs. And once we reach the top, we are going to find a couple of useful items. Now, up here, we're going to find the Watchtower Basement Key, the Divine Ember, and a Homeward Bone. Now, I'm going to use the Homeward Bone to go ahead and get back to the last bonfire. And then we will go and grab the rest of the items in the garden area just before the butterfly. And that will most likely result in our death again, which is why I'm going to sit down here, spend my souls to gain a few more levels. Let's see, vitality up, endurance up. Yeah, it looks good. We are less than 100 souls from another level up, so I may, just so I don't lose too many, use a small soul consumable. And that should put us over the mark for another level. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put that in dexterity. Now, we're going to make one more run into the garden area. Hopefully it will only be one more. And hopefully we'll be able to get out alive as well. So this time we're going to go to the right, over to this tree, or what appears to be a tree. Whoops. And we are just going to cut our way through it. And there you can see now it will dissolve. We can walk on through. Now we're going to encounter a new type of enemy down here. I don't actually know what these things are called, but they're not terribly dangerous. And they do also drop green blossoms. Green blossoms increase your stamina recovery for a short amount of time. It's kind of like having a temporary grass crest shield. So now, after we accidentally tap the right bumper, we're going to go down here and we have to cut our way through another tree type thing. Well, it is a tree, it's just a really, really strange tree. And now we're going to make our way out here to the right, around this pillar, and through this rubble we will find a pathway going up. And we're going to want to be quick about this because some of those stone guardians are going to show up. So we're going to make our way up this pathway, sprint a little bit at the beginning just to get some distance between you and anything that's behind you. And then when we come up to this corner, yep, there is the stone guardian waiting. Round this corner, we're going to grab this item here, which is the wolf ring, take a couple steps back, run and jump, and we made it across. Now, if you notice, this is the area, actually, where that tree was hiding in the ground earlier. Oh, die before you try and grab me. And this drops us off right back around before the bonfire. Now, we do have 2 more items that we want to get our hands on. And since we don't have enough souls to spend and don't need to refill our Estus, we're not actually going to stop at the bonfire. We're just going to run this yet again. And I know this may seem like kind of the long way to do this, but at this point in the game, it's the easiest way I've found. So the last item we have is right up there. You can see it glowing. Unfortunately, it's surrounded by lots and lots of nasty stuff. So we're just going to try and run in, grab it, and then hopefully run away. Probably get killed. And that is the Elite Knight armor set. That is... Whoa! Oh, yeah. Yeah, lots of baddies around there. 2 of the Stone Knights, about 4 of the tree creatures. However, we only lost 749 souls. That's basically nothing to me at this point. But the Elite Knight armor set is the same armor set that, if you remember the knight that drops the key into your prison cell, I believe his name is Oscar. He is actually wearing that same set of armor. So if you're wondering what it looks like, that's pretty much what it looks like. And it's a pretty decent armor set. I'm actually, on my other playthrough I'm using it on my strength character for the time being. Okay, so now we're going to actually grab this item because we won't have to come back in here again. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a step back and see if I can't jumping attack this tree monster. Because if I can kill them like this, one at a time, rather than all of them attacking me at once, that would be extremely helpful. So that is where the 3 of those are located. Blood Red Moss Clump, Large Soul of a Nameless Soldier, and now we can simply make our way out of Darkroot Garden, and we will not have to come back for quite some time. We will have to come back when we have the ability to open this door, but for now, we are good. So let's just make our way back to Andre. And once we get there, we will go ahead and end the episode once we have arrived back at Andre's place. Simply because the next couple areas that I tend to go to will probably, if I had to guess, they will take an episode each. Which seems to be kind of the pace I'm going at, which I'm not really happy with, but well, it is what it is, I suppose. See, typically I move through the game faster than this, but I've been stopping to talk a lot about specifics when I can, when I feel it's relevant. And also, I've just been having terrible luck today with these boss fights. So, as you can see, we are almost back to Andre's place. And when we get there, we have a present for him. Also, just going to avoid the Titanite Demon. Say, I will come back and kill him later when we're stronger, and that'll actually be a good way to give you an idea of how much stronger we've gotten once we kind of finish off the next few areas. So we're going to talk to Andre again, and this is where the Divine Ember that we found comes into play.
My, that's a rare ember you have there. I've seen one of those before. It's the ember of a divine blacksmith. Might you consider leaving that with me? I could produce divine weapons with a flame such as that. Well, thanks for that. You've made a fine decision. You soon shall see.
So now that we've given him the Divine Ember, we can actually modify our weapon to be a Divine Uchikatana. Any weapon that you get to +5, I say any weapon, not any weapon, but the vast majority of them, can be made into divine weapons at this point. I'm not going to do it with this one, however, because divine weapons scale their damage with intelligence, or I'm sorry, not intelligence, scale their damage with faith rather than with dexterity. And since I'm building off of dexterity, that would be a really bad idea. However, we will want to get a divine weapon later on, but I know of kind of a tricky way to get one that will be able to help us out.
I'll be seeing you then. Be careful out there.
So, a somewhat productive episode, if just really painful for me to record, honestly. I really can't believe the Moonlight Butterfly. Alright, so in the next episode, we're going to be leaving the Undead Parish. We're going to be heading off into another section of the city. But until then, I have been your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and thank you for watching.